So this woman just joined TikTok, and she might already be the most hated TikToker in TikTok history. Let me explain. So her name's Casey, and Casey is unemployed, living in Florida with her parents, and one day in 2005, life drops a bomb on her. She's pregnant. Now, why is this a problem for Casey? Well, not only is she unemployed, but she's also only 19 years old. She ain't ready for all this. So she decides, I'll just give the baby up for adoption. But Casey's mom, who we'll just call Casey's mom says absolutely not. So Casey has the baby, and she keeps her. And the baby's name is Baby Kaylee. So now Casey and Baby Kaylee live at home with Casey's parents. But here's where we run into problems. According to Casey's friends, Casey is a little jealous that all her friends get to be normal 19-year-olds and get to go out and party and stuff, while Casey is stuck at home taking care of a baby. So then over the next few years, Casey starts lying to her parents about having a job. She'll tell them, I gotta go to work. And her mom will watch Baby Kaylee while Casey leaves and goes off to party with her friends. These are actually some pictures of her partying. There's another picture of her partying. You get the idea. And to keep up the lie to her parents that she has a job, she starts stealing from people, from her friends, from her family. She's taking money from her mom's purse. She's forging checks, all kinds of stuff. Plus, she keeps making up lies to get other people to babysit for her. I mean, she clearly no longer wants to be a parent. And eventually, she, unfortunately, gets her wish. Because it's now 2008. And one day, Casey tells her parents she's going on some work trip and that she's gonna leave Baby Kaylee with a nanny. And this all seems pretty normal behavior from her at the time. But then, Casey suddenly just disappears. Like she doesn't come home, and her parents haven't seen her in a while. And they start to get a really bad feeling that something terrible happened. Then a month goes by, and Casey's parents get a letter saying the car Casey had been driving was impounded. So Casey's dad, who we'll just call Casey's dad, her dad goes to pick it up. And when he gets to the impound lot, something immediately is very wrong. Because there's a really strong odor coming from the trunk of the car. And there's nothing of importance in the trunk right now, but it smells like there had been a body in there. Now, at some point during all this, Casey finally comes home, and Baby Kaylee is not with her. And that is when Casey's mom freaks out and calls the police.
My daughter was missing for a month. I just found her today, but I can't find my granddaughter. She just admitted to me that she's been trying to find her herself. There's something wrong. I found my daughter's car today, and it smells like there's been a dead body in the damn car.
And so police bring Casey in and they question her, and she tells them, I left Kaylee with a babysitter, and the babysitter must have taken her. Her name is, Zanny the Nanny. And police are like, your daughter's been missing for 31 days? Why didn't you call us? And she tells them, I've been doing my own research. And so they ask her where Zanny the Nanny lives. And Casey takes them to an apartment building and points at an apartment and is like, she lives there in that apartment. But when police look in the windows, the apartment is completely empty. And not only is it currently empty, but no one had lived there for 5 months. And no one by the name of Zanny the Nanny had ever lived there. Because Casey never even had a nanny. She lied. And so, bam, police arrest her. Here's her mugshot. But the story's not over, because we gotta get to why TikTok hates her so much. So anyway, this story immediately blows the up. Like, it's dominating the news, not just in Florida, but nationwide. Every news outlet is talking about it. People want to know what happened to Baby Kaylee. And so thousands of volunteers from all around form search teams to go out looking for her. But unfortunately, they don't find anything. Now, here's what's really crazy. We know that Casey had disappeared for a whole ass month. So there's a month of time in her life unaccounted for. And what did Casey do during that month she went off the grid? Well, that's where it gets interesting. Because at one point, before Baby Kaylee goes missing, someone at Casey's house, we don't technically know who, but someone uses the home computer to search for very specific terms like chloroform and neck breaking. Then, 2 days after Baby Kaylee had gone missing, Casey asks her neighbor if she can borrow a shovel. She also, at one point, steals a checkbook from one of her friends and she goes shopping. Now keep in mind, her baby is gone. According to her, baby Kaylee had just been stolen by her nanny, and Casey uses this time to steal a checkbook and go shopping? Not only that, but she's also hanging out with her boyfriend every night, and she never mentions to him that her baby was just stolen by a nanny or say that anything had happened to her daughter. She doesn't seem worried or sad at all. In fact, quite the opposite. She's going out to bars and clubs with her friends, drinking and partying. At one point, she enters a hot body contest. She goes and gets a new tattoo. Like your 2-year-old kid is missing and you haven't told anyone, not even your parents, and you're out partying and getting new tattoos? Like it's no wonder the internet's mad at you. And so this tomfoolery goes on for about 31 days before she finally returns back home to her parents' house. And that's where we saw her mom call the police. And that phone call from her mom, that was the first time the police had been notified that baby Kaylee was missing. So, it's just a little suspicious, right? Oh, but it gets worse. From there, police investigate, and they look at her car, and the trunk of her car tests positive for chloroform and human decomposition. I mean, there's just so much, I guess, technically coincidental evidence that some foul play went on. But yet, despite that, Casey still insists that baby Kaylee is probably still alive somewhere out there. She's just missing. And so people continue to look for her. But then, several months later, they get some inevitable news. One day, a utility worker is out in a wooded area a little less than a mile from Casey's parents' house, and he comes across a bag. And that bag, sadly, has Kaylee inside. And she has duct tape over her mouth, meaning she had been murdered. And so then fast forward a few years. It's now 2011. And this whole thing goes to trial, with Casey being accused of murder. And of course, she pleads not guilty. And her lawyer actually ends up being a pretty good lawyer. And he argues that Kaylee was never kidnapped, that the day she allegedly went missing, she actually accidentally drowned in the family pool. And that Casey's dad, I guess he didn't want to look neglectful, so he covered it up and made it look like someone kidnapped her? And she later makes a very different argument, but in court, that's what Casey's lawyer argues. So, believe what you want. Anyway, so eventually the jury deliberates and they come to a decision, and keep in mind, 40 million people are watching this verdict live on TV. And so the jury comes out and they read the verdict and they find Casey not guilty. And of course, people are pissed and fights break out and people are protesting. They can't believe she got away with this. And so then 14 years go by and it's now 2025. And for whatever reason, Casey decides to join TikTok.
This is my first of probably many recordings on a series that I'm starting.
And even though she was found not guilty of unaliving her daughter, TikTok users pretty much unanimously are like, hey, get the f*** off our platform, you monster, you're not wanted here. And regardless, she only has 2 videos up, but she has since turned off all of her comments. I guess she doesn't want the hate. Now, I have no idea if she's going to actually post any more videos. I mean, she says she is, so I guess we'll see.